My parents were the most ordinary. My father disappeared in the office for days, my mother was a cook. Parental interests and work were not interesting to me. But here is a very interesting thing my uncle was doing. He was a potter. From clay and plaster, he could make incredibly beautiful things. I was fascinated by his work. I liked to come to his workshop after school or on weekends. Instead of various school circles, I came to my uncle to learn this skill. Of course, at first I didn't really succeed. But I tried and worked on my skills. My uncle patiently taught me, and after a while I began to succeed. This is how I chose my life path. I had a small pottery shop. I learned how to create beautiful dishes and paint them beautifully. Fantasy and experience helped me create interesting options, and my small business developed little by little. But that was not my only occupation. I also made sculptures. I didn't expect to be a great sculptor, I just did it for fun. What I was lucky with was that I immediately knew who I wanted to be and what I needed to do to get there. But with my personal life, I was not so lucky. I had friends, but I didn't see them often. Friends loved noisy parties. I liked quieter ways to relax more. Take a walk in nature, admire the beautiful scenery, inhaling clean air with full breaths. My solitary lifestyle included very few opportunities to find a girlfriend. But I really wanted to meet the love of my life, but it didn't work out. But my loneliness was not destined to last forever. I remember this fabulous evening. There was about half an hour left before the store closed. It was pouring rain outside. A wet girl ran into my store. "Hello, I'm sorry it's so late, are you closed yet?" The girl asked with a breath. "No, we are still working, heavy rain outside?" I asked with a smile. "It's just a nightmare, it pours like a bucket. But I was late at work, and tomorrow morning I urgently need a clay vase. I heard that you have the best in the city, so I ran through the rain to catch it. Hope you can offer something." "Well, of course. Here, please, evaluate my modest work, maybe you will like something." "Wait, so you're not just a salesman, you do all these wonderful things yourself?" "Yes, that is right. It's just wonderful. I am a lover of handicrafts. Do you know what talent you have?" "Do not confuse me," I answered with a smile. "No, I'm serious, I see how carefully and diligently everything is done. Please wrap this vase for me." "I am very pleased, thank you." "Great choice, I love this vase too. Judging by your shortness of breath and wet clothes, did you get here on foot?" "Yes, I was not far from here, then I still thought about taking a walk, but then it started to rain, so I ran to you." "I see, I'm closing now, if you want, I can give you a ride home." "That would be wonderful." With a playful look, the girl answered. That's how I met Kayla, the love of my life. We got to talking on the way to her house and decided to continue our conversation. And it's been 17 years since we got married. Kayla worked in the field of organizing events. All the events organized by her were admired by everyone who participated in them. We were both professionals in our field. Only now I did not strive for popularity, everything suited me and at the level at which everything was. But Kayla constantly rushed forward. She didn't stop at anything. It scared me a little, but still I admired her determination. Kayla tried to maintain an impeccable reputation in her organizational activities. It was her pride, she valued her reputation very much. That is why important people approached her with the most important events in our city. "Honey, have you heard that Henry Adamson is coming to our city?" Kayla asked me. Yes, my love, is this some new sponsor of our city? Would like to invest in the development of our museum? I answered. That's right, and not only that. This man wants to transform our town. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes the new mayor. Kayla said with admiration. Why are you even talking about him? Damon, he offered me a job. Can you imagine? This will be the biggest event ever. He is counting on my help. A lot depends on this event. Thanks to my work, his electorate will increase many times. It's great, Kayla, I'm very happy for you. The day after tomorrow we have an appointment with him. He invited us to dinner. So don't plan. Understood you, my love, well. And so Kayla and I went to a popular restaurant. A table was booked for us in the VIP room. Hello, my dear friends. Henry exclaimed, pulling his Hollywood smile up to his ears. Hello, Henry, nice to meet you. Heard a lot of good things about you. I said. Damon, my modest achievements pale in comparison to your work. I've heard a lot about your sculptures and other handmade utensils. Kayla said you have talent. And I willingly believe her. I've seen your work, it's just amazing. Henry, I'm very flattered to hear that. I'm flattered by your appreciation of my work. You have an amazing family. Kayla's achievements in her organizational work are beyond praise. Guys, you are the best of the best, and this holiday table is just for you. Henry, well, you praised us, it's just embarrassing. Kayla replied with a smile. We sat down at the table. But our further communication no longer aroused such delight in me. Henry focused more and more on Kyle. And Kayla forgot more and more that I, too, was at the same table with them. Kayla, what is such a beautiful and talented girl doing in this small town? I could put you to much better use in a big city. With my help, you would have reached incredible heights. Henry said with a piercing look. Henry, stop it. I feel awkward. Kayla replied with artificial shyness. No, sunshine. I am telling the truth. A gem like you should be in the best setting. Henry said with a playful grin. So, Henry, I would love to sit and watch you blue my wife, but we have to go. I quipped, not having endured it all. Damon, what are you talking about? Henry, never mind, Damon didn't make a good joke. Really, Damon? Kayla furrowed her eyebrows and looked at me with an angry look. Yes, Henry, I never knew how to joke, but still we really have to go. Well, okay, but your wife really is just a dream, take care of her. Said Henry, after which I could hardly restrain myself from spitting in his face. We left the restaurant. Damon, what the hell was that? Kayla asked indignantly. It was I who wanted to ask you why the hell you behaved like a whore and were led to all his sweet speeches. How dare you? It's time for you to heal. This man can change our future. If I smiled at him a couple of times, it doesn't mean anything. And here you staged a scene of jealousy. Yes, if we hadn't left there now, you would have undressed in front of him with your politeness. Do not talk nonsense. Everyone, let's not talk anymore, I don't want to talk. This evening brought me and Kayla to a serious quarrel. Henry was clearly not what he pretended to be. It was a slippery bastard. After a while, we faced off with Kayla. She convinced me that she loved me very much and that she would never change me for anyone. A grand event dedicated to Henry was about to take place. He was going to flaunt his services to the city in order to persuade people in the future to vote for him in elections. Kayla asked me to make a sculpture of Henry. I didn't really like this offer, but I was ready to do everything to make Kayla happy. For her, this event was very important. My workshop was close to home. I told Kayla that I would stay late in the workshop today. But my creative impulse did not last long. I felt very tired and decided to go home early. When I got to our house, I saw Kayla getting into a car I didn't recognize. I became alarmed and called Kayla, but she did not answer. I quickly got into my car and followed Kayla. We drove up to a mansion. I noticed that Kayla got out of the car with Henry, and they went inside the house. I couldn't get in there, I couldn't even get close. There were guards everywhere. I began to panic and tap my fingers nervously on the steering wheel of the car. I needed to get inside in any way, but how to do it? Suddenly I noticed that there were several people near the house who were fiddling with video cameras, probably setting up equipment. I approached the car in which the video surveillance specialists arrived. The van was open, and I pulled off a cap and jacket with their company label and put it on. The guard didn't ask me any questions. I told the guards that they needed to check the settings of the cameras from the main console. There was a security guard sitting in a small room. I told him that the head of security required his participation in installing cameras outside the house, and asked him to go outside as soon as possible. The guard hurried out of the room, and I hurriedly began to switch the video from the cameras inside the house and stumbled upon the room where Kayla and Henry were. Well, Kayla, are we going according to plan? Of course, Henry, preparations for the event are in full swing. Great, your husband still doesn't suspect us? No, of course not, this moron believes everything I say. Just like your future voters when you tell them about a brighter future. Yes, people are very stupid now. You can hang noodles on your ears, make a couple of gifts, and they are ready for anything. It amuses me. Do you have enough money for the election campaign? Of course, Kayla. I will still pull up a few exhibits from your museum, replenish my collection. If need be, I'll resell some, so I've got it all. We will replace it with fakes, no one will notice. I have already done this many times, I have excellent specialists in this field, you cannot distinguish it from the original. If only you knew what amazing things are in the basement of this mansion. Henry, you intrigue me. Will you show? Of course, I'll show you, Bunny. But now I'll show you something else, said Henry and began to undress, beckoning with his hand to Kayla, so that she began to appease him. Kayla took off her clothes without too much embarrassment and began to please this freak, then they began to fuck right in front of my eyes. This infuriated me. I was in shock, feelings in a chaotic cocktail seething inside me. I did not have time to fully comprehend everything that I just saw and heard. But I was running out of time, I took all my emotions into a fist. I saw memory cards in the drawer. I took one and downloaded this disgusting video on it. Then I hurried out into the street, throwing out my cap and jacket as I went. The embittered guard was already coming back, but I managed to slip through. When I got back to my car, tears came out of my eyes. Emotions flooded with such force that I did not know what to do with myself. I was deafened by this stunning incident, this nasty betrayal, this lie Kayla told me every day. I wanted to kill them. But after a while, my despair grew into a plan for revenge, which streamlined all my thoughts. I had to punish these scoundrels. I did my best not to lash out at Kayla when she was back at home with me. and I still waited for the right moment. And then came the day of the public event with Henry, where there were a lot of people. I just finished the sculpture Kayla requested. I had an amazing surprise for this couple. My sculpture was set up on a large pedestal in the middle of a huge hall. The sculpture was carefully covered with a special box, which was to be solemnly lifted with a winch. A huge screen was installed under the ceiling, on which the presentation was to be played. And so Henry went out to the people and began to talk about future opportunities when he comes to power. At that moment I stood behind and smiled, waiting for the climax. I was invited to present the sculpture. I went up on stage to Henry without any hesitation. Now the video with the presentation should have turned on, but instead the video that I downloaded then turned on. Everyone heard and saw this bastard's dirty talk and saw my wife fucking this bastard. What is this? Kayla screamed. That's the truth that everyone should know, you lying bitch. I said and ordered to raise the box. The box was picked up by my friends, and everyone gasped at the sculpture. It was a male penis with balls and Henry's head. I think I've outdone myself, I said with a satisfied smile. What the hell is this? What's going on, Damon, you son of a bitch? Henry shouted in rage. Shut your stinking mouth, you bastard. While your true face is being revealed here, operatives are already operating in your basement. Your scam is over. I shouted and smacked this bastard in the teeth with all my strength. He fell off the stage. And you, lying bitch, don't come home anymore. You can fuck further, even with an oligarch, even with a bum, you fucking careerist. I said everything. Good evening, everyone. I said and threw the microphone, going down from the stage. It was a very high-profile case. I had a good acquaintance with the police who had excellent connections. The business quickly developed and Henry had a vacation. Many stolen artifacts were found, so that instead of the mayor's chair, Henry now shown only a prison bed for many years. My lying wife's career was over. She left town in disgrace. I divorced her without any problems. The court took my side. Because of the staged performance, I was also not held accountable. I was even given an award of an honorary resident of our city for my help in this high-profile case. So my life continued in new colors. My popularity has allowed me to become much more successful than ever. Successful revenge allowed me to throw all the unnecessary burden of the past out of life.